Aloha, my name's Ansel Clancy, internationally certified arborist and acting board member for the Maui Coffee Association. In this video, I want to teach you how to measure your coffee's moisture in both green coffee as well as parchment coffee. This is a moisture meter, and there's many different types of meters that you can get. This particular meter I really enjoy. It's easy to use. It also is battery operated, so it's very portable. There are other ones that potentially are a little more accurate, but they're a little hard to calibrate. And from my experience, I've never had to recalibrate this unit. It's very easy. It also measures both parchment and green, and not all meters do that. It's very important to measure moisture in your coffee, both in the green and parchment. So for example, I have this wash processed parchment coffee here. And if I go to put this into storage for curing, and I have too much moisture, or I simply haven't measured the moisture at all, inside of those barrier bags, I'm going to be breeding a nice layer of white mold. And that's a major defect in the coffee world. So having a nice moisture meter, I can keep track of that. I can get those parameters just right. And in the world of coffee, consistency is king. So measuring your moisture, you can keep that consistent moisture all the way through the process. On a little bit of a different level is green coffee. So we utilize moisture meters as a grower while we're growing and processing parchment coffee, but we also utilize moisture meters as a coffee roaster or a coffee warehouse. So when I'm storing this green coffee, for Hawaiian coffees, I want to get this somewhere between 9.5% and 12.5% moisture, and I want to keep it there. Then when I roast the coffee, I want to measure this moisture right before I roast as well. And really for Hawaiian, I like to hit smack dab in the middle with 10.5% moisture. So let's go ahead and see how it works. This unit right here is called an Agtronics coffee tester. And as I said, it does both parchment and green coffee. I have a simple on-off button. And as it loads up, it's going to say always average 3 tests. So we'll do exactly that. I'd like to show you the simple 1-2 steps on how to measure both of these coffees. So I simply unscrew the top, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to look at my display screen, and it will indicate exactly what I'm measuring. Right here, I have it set to green coffee. I have a scrolling set of arrows here, so I can bump it down to parchment as well. But let's go ahead and start with green. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this canister at the top, and I want to get it nice and flush with green coffee. Nice and flush. As I reinstall my lid, I'm just going to line up my threads, and then I'm going to screw it down until this recession right here is completely flush. Now, there's a button on here that says test. I say test, and it says testing. It'll take a moment to process that test, but then it's going to give me a percentage. Now, with each test that I do, just like the machine says, it will always remind you, I'm actually going to do this 3 times. So that means right here it's reading 14.6% moisture. Now, to get an accurate reading, I'm going to empty it, and I would reload it with fresh green coffee and repeat that process 2 times. For the sake of this video, I'm going to show you how to move on to parchment. So now I have the select arrows until I get to where it says parchment coffee. It's very important to make sure you're set at the right setting, otherwise you'll get some really bizarre readings. Generally the coffee will look extremely moist, so you always want to cross-reference that. So again, I'm filling my canister or reservoir here until I'm just perfectly flush. I don't want to be above flush, otherwise my threads won't thread straight. I got that started. Now I'm going to crank it down until this recession is completely flat. Slide your finger across, double check that, and just simply hit test. Now it really is that easy with this Agtronics coffee tester. There are other units, again, that can be a little more accurate, but again, the goal here is consistency. So as long as you're getting a reading, you're good. This one's 12.3% moisture. Absolutely perfect for parchment coffee. Now that I'm done utilizing this meter, it's also very important your coffee can get stuck inside there sometimes. Completely clean it out, and then I'll always turn the machine off. I'd like to take a second to recap the importance of this. This moisture meter will measure the moisture in green coffee as well as parchment coffee. Its brand name is Agtronics Coffee Tester. You want to measure the moisture in your coffee whenever you're going to store parchment and anytime you're about to roast or store your coffee as well, because consistency is king.